Pepsi. This article is about the beverage. For its manufacturer, see PepsiCo. For other uses, see Pepsi disambiguation. Pepsi is a carbonated soft drink manufactured by PepsiCo, originally created and developed in 1893 by Caleb Bradham and introduced as Brad's Drink. It was renamed as Pepsi Cola in 1898 and then shortened to Pepsi in 1961. History. Pepsi was first introduced as Brad's Drink in New Bern, North Carolina, United States in 1893 by Caleb Bradham, who made it at his drugstore where the drink was sold. It was renamed Pepsi Cola in 1898, Pepsi because it was advertised to relieve dyspepsia, today more commonly known as indigestion or an upset stomach, and cola, referring to the cola flavor. Some have also suggested that Pepsi may have been a reference to the drink aiding digestion, like the digestive enzyme pepsin, but pepsin itself was never used as an ingredient to Pepsi Cola. The original recipe also included sugar and vanilla. Bradham sought to create a fountain drink that was appealing and would aid in digestion and boost energy. In 1903, Bradham moved the bottling of Pepsi Cola from his drugstore to a rented warehouse. That year, Bradham sold 7,968 gallons of syrup. The next year, Pepsi was sold in 6-ounce bottles, and sales increased to 19,848 gallons. In 1909, automobile race pioneer Barney Oldfield was the first celebrity to endorse Pepsi Cola, describing it as a bully drink, refreshing, invigorating, a fine bracer before a race. The advertising theme, delicious and healthful, was then used over the next 2 decades. In 1923, the Pepsi Cola Company entered bankruptcy, in large part due to the financial losses incurred by speculating on the wildly fluctuating sugar prices as a result of World War I. Assets were sold and Roy C. McGargle bought the Pepsi trademark. McGargle was unsuccessful in efforts to find funding to revive the brand, and soon Pepsi's assets were purchased by Charles Guth, the president of Loft Inc. Loft was a candy manufacturer with retail stores that contained soda fountains. He sought to replace Coca-Cola at his store's fountains after the Coca-Cola Company refused to give him additional discounts on syrup. Guth then had Loft's chemists reformulate the Pepsi Cola syrup formula. On 3 occasions between 1922 and 1933, the Coca-Cola Company was offered the opportunity to purchase the Pepsi Cola Company, and it declined on each occasion. Growth in popularity. During the Great Depression, Pepsi Cola gained popularity following the introduction in 1934 of a 12-ounce bottle. Prior to that, Pepsi and Coca-Cola sold their drinks in 6.5-ounce servings for about 5 cents a bottle, with a radio advertising campaign featuring the popular jingle "Nickel Nickel," first recorded by the Tune Twisters in 1940. Pepsi encouraged price-conscious consumers to double the volume their nickels could purchase. The jingle is arranged in a way that loops, creating a never-ending tune. Pepsi Cola hits a spot, 12 full ounces, that's a lot, twice as much for a nickel too. Pepsi Cola is the drink for you. Coming at a time of economic crisis, the campaign succeeded in boosting Pepsi's status. From 1936 to 1938, Pepsi Cola's profits doubled. Pepsi's success under Guth came while the Loft candy business was faltering. Since he had initially used lost finances and facilities to establish the new Pepsi success. The near-bankrupt Loft Company sued Guth for possession of the Pepsi-Cola Company. A long legal battle, Guth v. Loft, then ensued, with the case reaching the Delaware Supreme Court and ultimately ending in a loss for Guth. Marketing. From the 1930s through the late 1950s, Pepsi-Cola hits a spot was the most commonly used slogan in the days of old radio, classic motion pictures, and later television. Its jingle, conceived in the days when Pepsi cost only 5 cents, was used in many different forms with different lyrics. With the rise of radio, Pepsi utilized the services of a young, up-and-coming actress named Polly Bergen to promote products, oftentimes lending her singing talents to the classic hits spot jingle. Film actress Joanne Crawford, after marrying Pepsi-Cola president Alfred N. Steele, became a spokesperson for Pepsi, appearing in commercials, television specials, and televised beauty pageants on behalf of the company. Crawford also had images of the soft drink placed prominently in several of her later films. When Steele died in 1959, Crawford was appointed to the board of directors of Pepsi-Cola, a position she held until 1973. Although she was not a board member of the larger PepsiCo, created in 1965. Pepsi has been featured in several films, including Back to the Future, 1985, Home Alone, 1990, Wayne's World, 1992, Fight Club, 1999, and World War Z, 2013. In 1992, the Pepsi Number Fever marketing campaign in the Philippines accidentally distributed 800,000 winning bottle caps for a 1 million peso grand prize, leading to riots and the deaths of 5 people. In 1996, PepsiCo launched the highly successful Pepsi Stuff marketing strategy. Project Blue was launched in several international markets outside the United States in April. The launch included extravagant publicity stunts, such as a Concorde airplane painted in blue colors, which was owned by Air France, and a banner on the Mir space station. The Project Blue design was first tested in the United States in June 1997, and was released worldwide in 1998 to celebrate Pepsi's 100th anniversary. It was at this point the logo began to be referred to as the Pepsi Globe. In October 2008, Pepsi announced that it would redesign its logo and rebrand many of its products by early 2009. In 2009, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, and Pepsi Max began using all lowercase fonts for name brands. The brand's blue and red globe trademark became a series of smiles, with the central white band arcing at different angles depending on the product until 2010. Pepsi released this logo in US in late 2008, and later it was released in 2009 in Canada, the first country outside of the United States for Pepsi's new logo. Brazil, Bolivia, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Colombia, Argentina, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, Panama, Chile, Dominican Republic, the Philippines, and Australia. In the rest of the world, the new logo was released in 2010. The old logo is still used in several international markets and has been phased out most recently in France and Mexico. Niche marketing. Walter Mack was named the new president of Pepsi-Cola and guided the company through the 1940s. Mack, who supported progressive causes, noticed that the company's strategy of using advertising for a general audience either ignored African Americans or used ethnic stereotypes in portraying blacks. Up until the 1940s, the full revenue potential of what was called the Negro market was largely ignored by white-owned manufacturers in the US. Mack realized that blacks were an untapped niche market, and that Pepsi stood to gain market share by targeting its advertising directly towards them. To this end, he hired Henon Smith, an advertising executive from the Negro newspaper field, to lead an all-black sales team, which had to be cut due to the onset of World War II. In 1947, Walter Mack resumed his efforts, hiring Edward F. Boyd to lead a 12-man team. They came up with advertising portraying black Americans in a positive light, such as one with a smiling mother holding a six-pack of Pepsi while her son, a young Ron Brown who grew up to be Secretary of Commerce, reaches up for one. Another ad campaign, titled Leaders in Their Fields, profiled 20 prominent African Americans such as Nobel Peace Prize winner Ralph Bunche and photographer Gordon Parks. Boyd also led a sales team composed entirely of blacks in the country to promote Pepsi. Racial segregation and Jim Crow laws were still in place throughout much of the U.S. Boyd's team faced a great deal of discrimination as a result, from insults by Pepsi co-workers to threats by the Ku Klux Klan. On the other hand, it was about to... Oh well, that's enough.